Welcome to Season 2 of True-10 CrimeCast, the 210 area's #1 true crime podcast in social media. Make sure to subscribe on Spotify and YouTube, and come follow and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised. This episode is brought to you by certified real estate agent Adele Gomez of eXp Realty. Adele is a veteran educator and is passionate about helping her community grow. Let Adele help you find your new real estate. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. December 7, 2010 was just another day in San Antonio, Texas. Pauline Diaz worked at the local H-E-B off of Southeast Military Drive and Goliad Road on the city's southeast side. Pauline would leave work at 2 p.m. that day. Surveillance cameras would catch Pauline speaking to a woman in the parking lot of H-E-B, but no further interactions after that. Pauline was seen getting into her two-door white Toyota Tacoma truck. Her daughter Paula shared with us the events that followed her disappearance.
It was an ordinary day. Everything seemed calm, and it was going no different. Other than she had left her strange husband, she moved back into her original home. She was working her area in the bakery. She was doing the tortillas, and she loved her job. But around 2 p.m.-ish, 2:30, somewhere in that time frame, her strange husband came into H-E-B and whispered something in her ear. Now, this was caught on the surveillance tape. Also, the co-worker that was there saw it. That lady, her daughter, is a friend of mine, and we went to South Padre Island, and that's where we got together, and it just like a small world. And the mom was there, and she told me what had transpired, and she just regretted not asking my mom. But after that, you could see that my mom, whatever he whispered, my mom just hurried up. I mean, she hustled out of her area, which was not like her, because she would always leave everything clean and in order for the next worker. And this time she left it in a disarray and in a hurry. And she was rushing. That Tuesday, that happened, but we didn't know this was happening until my brother got home from school, which was at 9 p.m. And he's like, "Where's mom?" He lived with my mom. He wasn't at home, and the first thing he thought was, why is the house, with the breakfast dishes? Because my mom would get home from work and she would clean the whole house, go out in the yard and do her gardening and so forth. She was for her age, I don't even have that energy. So he called my sister because she lives close by. He's asking her, "Hey, is mom over there?" And my sister's like, "No, she's not." And he's worried. But my sister isn't. She's like, "Oh, she's probably with friends, come out before with her friends, and she probably lost track of time. Don't worry, she'll be home." For him, it just wasn't this was going on. And my sister still wasn't in that place of, red flag. So he started calling my mom's friends and asking, is my mom over there? Have you seen my mom? And all of them were like, no, no, no. But he didn't realize until he had gone outside on the porch and he called my mom again. And this was around 10 p.m., approximately around that time, that he called her and he kept hearing a phone ringing. He followed the ringing and it took him to her room and he found the cell phone in her room. Okay. So now red flags are really flaring for him. And he can't think straight. And he's in the morning, he's still calling certain friends. And there was just one friend said, no, I was supposed to meet with your mom, on Tuesday, December 7th at 4 p.m. And she didn't show up. And I called her and she didn't answer. So I just figured, maybe she was avoiding me. Maybe she had changed her mind. They were supposed to go see a movie, but didn't think nothing of it either. So she was the only one that said, yeah, I was supposed to meet with your mom. So he goes straight to Bexar County Sheriff's Department and he files a missing persons report. And he says, I'm going to go down and talk to her estranged husband, which is Pete, see what's going on. Right as you're going into that subdivision, my mom's truck's on the side of the highway. And it's between 181 and the corner of County Road 320, which is a makeshift carpooling area. And that's where her truck was found. So he's calling Wilson County Sheriff's Department.
Once contact was made with police, a report was put on both Wilson County Sheriff's Office and Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Immediately, the Sheriff's Office would track Pauline's steps that day and interview anyone that could have any leads to her disappearance. One of the main suspects was her estranged husband, Pete. Police did interrogate him, and he did admit that Pauline was at his house that day, did get the lawnmower, but left on her own will, and he never saw her again. Now, Pauline's family shared that she was planning on divorcing him, as they had already been separated. Also, there had been a discussion the day prior to her disappearance of Pete being upset about the change to her beneficiary and him not being a part of that anymore. So, of course, he immediately became a prime suspect in this case.
After my mom went missing, which wasn't very long, we're talking like days. Yes, he went to my mom's insurance agent and he tried to get information, money amounts, who's a beneficiary and all that, because he thought he was. Because when she first married him, she had put him as a beneficiary, but then she begun changing everything. And they told him, sorry, we can't give you any information because, you're not the beneficiary of this life insurance. He threw a fit, became irate, and the agent just kind of got rid of him to leave. But then she sees my mom's missing on the television because they had television playing. She sees that, and she puts two and two together. So she calls Bexar County also and reports it. So yeah, he was out seeking the money amounts on her life insurance policy.
Her family would not give up and decided to go with a private investigator, Charlie Parker. Now, Charlie is actually a pretty good PI, as he would be featured in the true documentary called The Imposter. You can watch the documentary on YouTube. So Charlie Park was able to piece together some missing pieces of the puzzle. One key point was that he does believe that Pauline did return home from Pete's house. Her shoes that were found at her house had the same sand that is found at Pete's house. Another thing that was also noticed was the clothes and disarray of her home from the crime scene photo. It was not like Pauline to leave her house a wreck, so it made it seem like she may have been surprised by whomever came to see her at her house that afternoon. So let's flash forward to 2018. The county sheriff's office would go on and complete a dig on Pauline's estranged husband's property. Pete would also go on to file and win his divorce against Pauline, even though she had been missing. Here's her daughter Paula explaining what led to this after so many years.
What happened is when she went missing, Wilson County law enforcement had brought out a cadaver dog along with the Texas Rangers. And I believe it was the Texas Rangers that brought the cadaver dog. And that cadaver dog sat in that backyard in that particular spot. Well, they never went back to do the dig until I actually got the case and I took it to Bexar County and I pleaded with Javier Salazar to please take the case. The case was opened in Bexar County. She resided in Bexar County.
Wilson County picked it up.
They picked it up and they wanted it so bad and they lost so much evidence and they kept losing and losing until finally they made them sign documents that Bexar County was sending over to them. For some reason, they wanted the case. The truck was found in Floresville, yes, but her residence is in Bexar County. And her case was originally opened in Bexar County. So when I got all that paperwork and have them relook at the case, Wilson County never went back to dig with a cadaver dog. And Bexar County came back 8 years later and did the dig, and they did a 20 feet by 20, and they found a pig's head. Now, who would put a pig's head, but not the rest of the body?
Fast forward 2025. Pauline would have turned 79 years old. She has been missing for 15 years. Her family has not given up on her or finding some sort of justice and closure. Paula's journey has led her to find others that are also dealing with the same heartbreak of having a missing loved one. Paula now volunteers and dedicates her time to Search and Support San Antonio, a nonprofit organization that works to support families in times of need, advocate for the missing, and search for the truth. Search and Support has really it's been incredible being with that team. And I really do feel that my purpose and calling is that. And I work to try and motivate families who feel they have no hope. Because after fighting for so many years, there comes a point that you just want to give up. You just want to throw in the towel. You just want to tap out because it is a lot to carry, especially with the emotions. So much emotion that it's hard to navigate your way through that hell. You see a certain beauty that even after ugliness has struck, there is beauty, and it's so undescribable, on how to explain how you're going to see that beauty, but you will. If you know or have any information about the disappearance of Pauline Cantu Diaz or her current whereabouts, please contact Bexar County Sheriff's Office at 210-335-6000. You can also leave an anonymous tip online anytime at www.p3tips.com. You can follow Pauline's story and case updates online at www.paulinediaz.com. Thank you for listening to our story today. And remember, True-10 is brought to you by you, our listeners and supporters. You can follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and join us on Facebook. And remember, stay safe, San Antonio.